Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, a special guest here. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. And don't forget, I got it right here, the open house. Open house tomorrow night, okay? 21 career pass, 6 months, 2 years to finish that. It's a great program, the programs they have out there. So that open house is tomorrow, Thursday the 25th, from 5:30 to 6:30 in Building 1. High today 78, low 61. Water temperature went up 2 degrees. It's 73 degrees now. It's a really good sign. We're being a lot of southeast and south winds sort of blowing that warm water on up here the last couple of days. The river reading brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. Look at the Apalachicola, folks. It is up there. How about a 18.2 for the Apalachicola at Bluntstown? I mean, it is up there. And it's been up there for a long time. Choctawhatchee at Caryville, good shape at a 6.2. Good steady reading over in Choctawhatchee. If I had my choices, had to go to the river today, I think I would take off to the Choctawhatchee in a heartbeat. Okay, the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tides, high tide 12:31 p.m. and a low tide at 12:15 a.m. right from midnight, right about exactly almost 12 hours apart on the tidal right there, and good strong 1.8 foot flow. Marine forecast coming out of the south now, pretty steady. It's in double digits again, coming out of south at 12 miles per hour. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and look who's here this morning, Daniel Cole.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, buddy. Apalachicola native, and now a marine surveyor. You long for those times maybe just get back on the river and don't have to work as hard as you're working now?
Well, I've always been a hard worker, so
I know it.
It's just nice to do something I enjoy for a change.
That's cool. So many people are so busy because of the storm, and you're no exception. So what's been going on? What have you been doing? Well, before we get to that, you've been doing some fishing though, right?
Yeah, I did. I got away one afternoon with a really good buddy of mine. We had a couple volunteer suicides. We got some early Spanish mackerel before this last cold snap, but that's been pretty much it.
You use that term suicide fish. I remember I caught Captain Bubbo Hobbs. I always loved going fishing with him about midnight on one of those overnight 2-day trips. I caught a big old group. I was so proud of it. And he stuck his head out that door, going to holler down the side, "Coach got him a suicide grouper." Everybody got a kick out of it.
That's how we feel sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, you did have time to fish a little bit, but you mainly been working a lot, hadn't you?
Yeah, we've been working a lot.
So what's been going on in the boat field?
Well, one of the biggest things I really wanted to address, your audience about today is we've been coming across so many instances of people whose insurance companies are not wanting to pay what the damages are really worth to repair a boat properly, and in some cases they're wanting to just lipstick and rouge boats that should be totaled. And I'm very proud to say that we have assisted several people in getting their boats that needed to be totaled and getting a full insurance payout. And in some cases, getting the amount they need to actually adequately repair it. So if you're having problems with that, if your boat's been damaged in a storm, it doesn't matter if you're commercial or if it's privately owned craft, and you feel like the insurance company is not giving you what the boat really requires, the average insurance company is not necessarily sending out actual surveyors. They have people come look at it, they give an idea. They're adjusters, but they're not marine surveyors. And so what we do is we come out, telephone consultations are free. If we feel we can help you, we'll come out, we'll look at your boat up close, and if we, as is in many cases, we find a lot of damages that it's not even been reported by the adjusters, and then we're able to take that and we build a package. And the package we put together is very well documented, and actually it's prepared where if we have to go legally, we have to represent you as a professional witness to get what's yours. We'll do it. That's a very large part of our business. And I'm very happy to say several people in Bay County who have called us, we've been able to get them what they deserved. You have some pictures, I believe. I don't know when you want to get into that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and what we're talking about. And this is a nice boat, and it looks okay to me. Tell us about the situation.
Well, this particular boat, it had a couple of different representatives from an insurance company look at it. They said, we think it's probably damaged, but they were leery to total it. They sent out an insurance adjuster. The insurance adjuster said, well, I think I can clean it up for about $30,000. I'll be on the island in a couple days and enjoying this thing. He even said, I'll just buy it from you. But once we started doing our investigation, we were put in contact, the owner contacted us from Georgia, very nice gentleman. And he says, Mr. Cole, we're just getting jerked around. Can you help us? Mm-hmm. So we talked about it. I went down and looked at the boat. Lo and behold, we started finding stuff that even a blind man should have been able to find, but apparently people just didn't take the time to move cushions. They didn't take the time to get down in the engine well. And so we started finding cracking at a lot of the main web sections. There were tabbing issues.
I see the cracking right in here. See that crack?
Yep.
That's easy to see.
Yep. And then the interior was damaged too. Now that crack there is actually in the rudder table.
Ooh.
And it's indicative of a boat being slammed on the rudders and busting that fiberglass encased, table.
So that's what happened. It just bounced around so much, and it just the force of
exactly.
And
wow. And you stole a couple of pictures off my Facebook page to get this, but there's actually many, many more if someone would look closer. But the problem was that even at the engine mounts where they mounted to the main stringers, all of that was cracked, and nobody even made note of it. Yeah. So we went down, we put it together. This gentleman was looking at about $26,000 to $30,000 return to repair a boat that was obviously totaled. And when we got done, he got his full payout, which I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000.
Wow. So that's a big difference between $30,000 and $200,000. Yeah.
Sure.
And the thing about it, you are a licensed, bona fide surveyor.
Yeah.
And these other people are sort of coming in, sort of looking around, and that, I know this is a big boat here and all, but you do all size boats.
All size. We did the same thing. We've done some smaller Scouts. We've done a number of boats, but the real thing is just that don't take their word for it. Yeah. Get a real marine surveyor. Yeah. And if at all possible, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: get a NAM surveyor.
Okay.
We cover a lot more ground, and we have a lot of SAM surveyors in our area.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about the difference and show you some more pictures. All right, welcome back. Here with Daniel Cole, our boating expert, and I'm talking about a true expert now, not just somebody that just came in off the street talking about boats. You've been around them your whole life, haven't you? Your dad was around them his whole life.
Oh, yeah.
And so, we try to put a Panhandle Outdoors program together with experts in redfish and this and that and boat experts. So we feel good about having a team like we have here, and we'd love to have them come on once a month. Let me show a couple of pictures our viewers sent. I like to say, if I don't stay on top of them, we won't get them. Hey, Mr. Chester, this is our buddy Ned Maxwell from Chattahoochee. I went to the island and was fishing at 6:30 a.m. using fish bites and sand flea and shrimp, not a nibble for 4 hours. Okay, but now I can promise you're gonna be better this week. Sumatra is a special place. So they've had to take the law in their own hands because people going through Sumatra, a lot of times they don't slow down, and slow down, Sumatra lives matter. And so I understand where you're coming from. How about Jonathan Snyder on Monday? How about the big old cubby off the county pier? That's a nice one, ain't it, Dan?
That is.
Nice one. And then Harriet Taylor, her husband Kenny. Kenny is a good fisherman up there in the sand hills. Good job, Kenny Taylor. Harriet was she wanted to catch one, but she was taking pictures. Don't forget now, this Saturday, the Carabel Riverfront Festival, it'll be going on. And here's the schedule. I want to give you, basically, if you want to get down there and run, I'm not going to make the run, but from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, they will have all kind of festival activities on Main Street. And then from 3 to 6, they're having the train ride, and then some bands. I don't know all these bands, but I'm sure they're good. The different bands playing. Anyway, so it's their 29th annual Carabel Riverfront Festival. I know you know the folks down in Carabel.
Oh yeah,
they're good folks.
They are. We work down there a lot, as a matter of fact.
I tell people down there, I think you'll verify it, there are not many just genuine fishing villages left in Florida.
No.
Just still, they're not
not.
taken over by condos and different developments and all. But Carabel is one of them.
Carabel's one of them. Steinhatchey's another.
That's exactly right.
You go to Steinhatchey, it's like going back in time.
Yeah, it really is. And it's just special places and all. So if you get a chance, try to make it down there. And okay, so we were talking about boats and all, and you're looking at different ones and all, and you can do all different sizes, of course. Anything. And see, then in the storm, what's going on with the storm? They all got bounced around if they were in the water.
That's right. And the nice thing is that, well, I'm sorry, it's not the nice thing. It's probably good for insurance. We've had a lot of people call who, they're wanting to have surveys because the insurance companies require them to have them, whether or not they were affected by the storm.
Yeah.
And but we have, been able to cover the ground with a lot of really nice boats and really great people too. I don't know if you know Captain Bill New or not.
Okay.
But he,
I do. Yes.
Yeah, him and Grover used to be
Yes.
partners, and then they decided to go two different ways, very amicably. And he's got a 160-foot research vessel in. We just did the other day. It's very interesting. He's a very interesting gentleman. Really enjoyed spending time with him. And so anything really, from steel to aluminum to wood to whatever, we cover a lot of ground and we enjoy it.
On a side note, we were talking about this before the show because you have to drive around a lot through the town and everything. And I know I talk about it on the show probably too much, but are you seeing a lot of crazy drivers out there?
Man, crazy drivers everywhere.
Since the storm, these folks who come in, I was telling you and Jeff, I was at 389 and 390 yesterday, stopped at the red light, and this big old truck come in and come up to the right side of me and looked both ways and just ran the red light. Cars coming, he just went in between the cars. And I looked at the tag, out of state.
Yep.
And it's crazy. Have you seen some of that too?
Oh yeah,
big trucks.
I saw the other day a big semi, red light was red. He just came right off Star Avenue, went right through Star Avenue onto 231, headed south, and there was already a semi in that lane moving. So he locks up, and the guy never blew a horn or nothing. He just cut through the intersection and kept going.
There's like a really big old bully, and they just think you're going to stop and get out of the way, which in common sense you are, but sometimes you may not be able to. But anyway, and I've been told by a reliable source that our law enforcement guys on ground level have been told to sort of let all that stuff go for now while these people here are working. That's a sad case, but I came from a very reliable source. The upper echelons has told them to sort of let it go. And for example, I haven't seen anybody stopping speeding for the last 6 months side of the road. You stop and think about it. But anyway, that don't have anything to do with Panhandle Outdoors. It has to do with our personal safety and also be careful out there. Really drive defensively. Okay, getting back to boats and all, down in Apalachicola, did they get a lot of damage down there with their boats, or most of it is around here?
No, I think really the dividing line was probably Port St. Joe. I mean, Appalachia didn't seem to get near the damage. Not saying that no one got any, but just the sheer devastation from Port St. Joe to the west was really where we've seen the most.
I was talking to a diver just yesterday, and he was talking about it. He's part of the team diving, sort of getting stuff cleaned up and all. He said underwater, especially, he was at the city marina here. He said, you could not believe the damage. He said boats inside of boats and all. Underwater, you've got a surface here, it'll calm, and he said underneath, and I guess you've seen some of that. Was that stuff?
I have. It's, I don't know how long it'll take them to get it all straight, but it's miserable.
And this is sad because nobody could help it, but the gas tanks and all, they were leaking. I mean, it was just because it bounced around and there's nothing you can do about it.
No, and it really makes a lot of issues for them, their safety. I mean, they're in peril. Something that I'm concerned about all the time, and I probably harp on a lot, as they are reconstructing the land part of things, the docks and the facilities, now you've got wires in the water, and if they're not carefully disconnected, that's another peril those guys deal with. They could be electrocuted by wires that are unknown, that are energized underwater.
I hadn't thought about that.
During the building reconstruction phase. So a lot of respect to our divers. They do a very dangerous job. People complain about what they charge, but your whole family's livelihood's on the line every time you go in the water. I think you deserve what you charge.
Yeah, I know it's risky under there because of stuff falling and all, but he was talking about boats were inside of boats when they got washed up and they, knocked a hole in one boat, then the boat went inside of it. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm going to try to get him to come on the show and talk about it. All right, we're going to take our final break and come back with Daniel. All right, welcome back. Here with our favorite boatman, Daniel Cole. And Daniel, let's do a fishing game time from Port St. Joe, Blue Water Outriggers, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's even numbers right there. And tonight, 5:25 to 7:25. I like that morning time, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. When are you going fishing again?
That's on a need-to-know basis.
Whenever you get a chance, right?
Yeah, if somebody thinks I'm fishing, they may be yelling at me because they thought I should be somewhere else.
You need to come work on check my boat out. Daniel, what are you doing fishing? And don't put them on Facebook. Don't put them on Facebook. No. You work from Apalachicola, Destin, all throughout this area, right? So
I cover from Jacksonville to Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Wow. From
Columbus, Georgia, down to St. Pete.
You do a lot of river stuff?
Yeah, we do. But amazingly, a lot of houseboats and stuff like that.
Talking about the popularity of boats, how fashion changes, I guess, for lack of a better term. The little tri-tunes are becoming popular now, like little deck boats and all, because they're so versatile. You seen some of that?
I have, and it's amazing the speed they're getting out of those things.
Really?
There's some of those tri-pontoon boats that are like, they'll run 50, 60 miles an hour. Yeah. I mean, they got huge motors. They almost look like a racecraft out there running.
Well, I know you go to the boat yards a lot, so spend a lot of time in the boat yards. How's everybody up at Miller Marine? I haven't seen Manny them lately. They've been staying busy?
They're very busy. Of course, they're dealing with some health issues with their family, and so I've not had the pleasure of seeing Mandy recently, but I know Megan's working her head off, and so is Bimbo and
I actually Mike. I ran into Mandy in a volleyball tournament of all places in Biloxi, Mississippi. Her husband, they've been over there for some treatment and all.
Sure.
And, I ran into them. I said, "You're not close to Southport over here." Well, anyway, it was great to see her and all. Their little girl plays volleyball on the travel team. So, anyway, you see all kinds of things at boat yards.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the funny things you see?
Well, before a break, we were saying, get you a good surveyor.
Yeah.
I have seen so many things. Of course, ranging around. Here's some things I'll tell you. If your surveyor shows up and he's looking at a boat for you and he's pounding on it with a metal framing hammer, he's not a surveyor. You need to get someone else.
No, you didn't really see that.
I saw some guy. A framer's hammer. I actually saw that. The other day I saw a guy, he had what looked like about a 2-foot stick of, it looked like bamboo, and he had about a 1 ounce fishing weight on it. I guess it was taped on. And he was using a very high-speed tapping method. And my client, we were doing a Chris Craft, and he looked over there and he says, "Man," he says, "if that boat, it was a brand new fountain, I think, and he says, if that boat doesn't have any cracks or any holes in the hull, it will by the time that guy gets done." Actually, the sales manager over at Legendary Midbay reached out to me the other day. He says, "Dan," he says, we need more going on over here. We need you to come over more because he says we're having a lot of problems." And he said, we actually had a very expensive Everglades boat that was brand new, about to sell. Surveyor looked at it and he says that it had fiberglass sticking through the hull and that the boat had a hole in it, brand new boat. And so they go lift it up, trying to figure out what he's looking at. When they had soaped and washed the boat, it caused the fibers in the brown carpet on the bunk to stick to the bottom of the hull. And this guy looks at it, he's got no more sense than to think that's just fiberglass sticking through the hull. So
he thought
there was no gel coat and that you were looking at web fiberglass. So
Oh my goodness.
Guys, there's so many guys out there claiming to
Now
be
you're talking
surveyors.
that's a what, $200,000 boat or something?
Oh yeah, those will run right up around $3.
$300,000 boat, and
Everglades are very expensive.
yeah. So that's that wasn't a hole in the boat.
So if you're going to hire a surveyor, be sure, talk to them and get a feel for what they do to start with. If they're talking about banging on stuff with a framing hammer and stuff like that, that's not the guy you want doing your boat.
Well, we'll go back to that case you had right at the beginning of the show where they were going to settle for $30,000 and you got them $200,000 just because of your expertise, and that's so valuable, folks. And same way with houses. You're talking about houses and all, get your money's worth out of it. Of course, some people, on the other hand, are taking advantage of insurance companies, but most people are. It took us a while ourselves, but they treated us right. And most people have a tendency to treat you right if you present them the facts.
Sure.
And that's a big thing.
Something else, a lot of people have reached out to private adjusters. I will say in the case of boats, I'm not against using a private adjuster if you feel you need that kind of help, but be aware when you hire them, part of what you're paying for that is them paying a surveyor to look at your boat.
They're going to pay you.
They're like a middleman. So if you're having a problem with your boat, that's the surveyor's project, and save yourself some money and get more money back going with a guy who's qualified to know what he's looking at.
Very good point. All you got a busy schedule the rest of the week?
Oh yeah, rest of the several months. I think.
Several months and all. Your typical day. How many hours you put in a day, roughly?
Well, like yesterday was 12 hours, and what we find is, especially like we have so many people who are in the working industry, they're trying to get their boats out so they can actually start chartering again. And in some cases, we've pulled some 16-hour ones just to be able to get people back in the water where they can start getting back to making a living, because we rely on them guys. That's our economy,
Yeah, that's right.
So, so when someone needs it, we work it out with them. We were able to assist several of them as well.
Yeah.
Insurance companies were trying to pre-total boats that didn't need to be.
We got to get out of here.
Let's get out of here then.
Thank you. All right. Thank you all for watching. Do something good today. If you're a fellow man, have a great day and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.